Hey, what's going on? This is Matt Bowman, and this is Matt Bowman is Bothered. We got another episode coming at you this week. How are ya? I hope you're bothered. This week, it's me, and this week I've got a very fun, special person. I got Mr. Ryan O'Toole, fellow New York comedy savant by way of Boston. Hell yeah, dude. How are you, man?
Good, dude. I'm happy to be here.
Dude, you didn't have to go all Boston. You didn't have to wear the Harvard sweatshirt.
Well, the Pats are playing tonight. Underneath this, I think I got my Bruins. I have a Terry O'Reilly Boston Bruins.
It looked like under there you just had a generic wife beater on under there. You've got the full Southie look to you right now.
There's a wife beater and there's a Bruins shirt, a Harvard sweater, and I have a Celtics hat. I'm wearing the Pats are playing tonight, and the Celtics are playing tonight too. But I don't have a fucking I have a Patriots winter hat, but it's too tight. It like gives me a headache.
Oh, the one with the little fucking tassel on the top?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I like that one.
Thank you. I have. Yeah, I think I've had some Boston right now, but I fucking have like just a regular winter hat. It's just a blue hat with the Patriots logo, but it's so tight it hurts my head. I just gotta give it. I'm gonna give it to someone.
Hey, it is what it is. So the Pats are playing tonight. I'm assuming you're watching that.
Yep.
Yeah. You got any spots or anything tonight that's gonna interfere?
Yeah. This is my only thing I have today.
Hell yeah. Happy to be a part of the itinerary. Yeah. If it's how big of a game does it have to be for you to cancel like all comedy related shit to like, oh, I'm not if there's a show, I'm not going to do that show because the Pats are playing or because the Celtics are playing? It would
have to be like a regular Celtics game, but okay. I think I did a show last year. Not that I don't care, but I'll arrange it. But last year I did shows during the playoffs and stuff. The Patriots, though, I think that would be different.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a position like since I started doing comedy where the Patriots have been in like a crazy ass game. Mm-hmm. But for regular season games, I've missed due to acting and comedy stuff.
Sure. Well, I feel like with the NFL, like a lot of the big, even the playoff games are, a lot of them are like at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock, where you're like, okay, I can still do that and then go do other things later on. I run into shit with like Ohio State. Like a lot of times they play prime time
Saturday nights.
So if they play, then I'm like, if they play like Toledo, all right, I'll check the score, I'll be okay. But if it's like even if it's like Wisconsin or like if it's like a big game, I'm going to watch, which may not be great, but I've made my choices.
I legitimately went like I want to say 12 years without missing a Patriots game. I missed the first one. I remember it was right when I moved to New York, but I had to go back to Boston. It was the first game of the 2018 season, and we played Houston week 1, and I had this whole rehearsal and everything for an improv show. And that was the first game I missed. And like, I've missed a few since then. I've missed like, I'd say about a handful since then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's so funny because obviously Boston, you sound like you're from Boston. You've got like a lot of the trope, whatever. But then you're like, dude, what's your fucking favorite Shakespeare play? Dude, I got an improv group meeting tomorrow. It's just like you break the mold of like, yeah, I sound like this, but I actually have.
I've said this before. I always say this. It's like everything that's on like they just never put like a normal fucking person. Everyone who's on TV from Boston's like a fucking bank robber or like a thug, dude. Yeah. It's like, yeah, well, there's like, there's like nurses and teachers and shit from there too.
It's
like,
a whole city.
100%. Yeah. And it's like I've always said that. I'm like, everyone who talks like me and is a character on a TV show is a scum. Like it's not someone you want to know.
Yeah. Well, I think what did Burr say when he was on Colin Cowherd one time? So like his co-host was like making fun of him, and he's like, not everybody's from fucking Southie. Yeah, like there's a whole other part of this city.
It's true.
That but that's really fun. I remember that was one of the because we met each other doing park mics like over the pandemic. Yeah, at your mic. Yeah. Like when that was the only joint in town. That was the only game. And yeah, I remember you saying something just about Shakespeare and like other things. Like, wow, I would have bet a bunch of money that you would have never even read a play, let alone have a favorite one.
I went to theater school. I did improv. I did like all the stuff that all my friends called me gay for. You know what I mean? But like,
now there you go.
But I did all that stuff. You know, I still do.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to like the acting stuff, do you find do you get? Obviously, I mean, you're not like fucking a movie star, but like, do you?
Not yet.
Yes, of course, not yet. Not yet. Neither of us have made it in comedy, not yet. But do you find like that you get pigeonholed as like the guy from Boston? Or
sometimes, but then I don't even get these fucking jobs. You know what I mean? So then it's like I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. You know? I shouldn't say I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, I audition for a lot of dumb shit, and then I lose it to that's the thing that kills me. Like, there's a commercial on TV right now that I lost. There's been a few of them that I've lost. Not that I lost out on, I just didn't get it. And then I look up the actor, and they're from like fucking New Hampshire or something, or like 50 miles outside of the city. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, whatever. Ultimately, I'm not going to make it as somebody from Boston. I'm going to be a true stage actor, a regular actor that just is a dude. You know?
Yeah. What's the highest not highest profile, but just like the most famous character that you've done, like even in like a high school play or like a fucking like, have you done like Shakespeare shit?
I have done some Shakespeare stuff.
That's hilarious.
Well, Shakespeare is like open to it though, because like they've made like
they like
you can do a million
gangs
like,
in New York. Yeah,
exactly. Like there's been so much Shakespeare shit where it's like that's why Shakespeare's writing's incredible, where it's like you could do I always say like they have Shakespeare in the Park. I want to do Shakespeare in the projects, where it's just like, because you could you could do it, like the writing's so great you could just plug it in and it'd work. Done a lot of that shit, but everything I don't know, it's just all like fucking, I like playing aggressive people too.
No way.
That's what I have the most fun doing.
It's not really acting on that point. That's just like I'm showing up to it.
Yeah, hell yeah. So that's
great.
what I like.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So anything with I don't know much about like the behind the scenes of acting and shit like that. Is there anything that's like the minutia of that is annoying, or like, fuck, I gotta memorize this shit, or I've got to show up at this? Like, is there anything that, like, I don't know, frustrates you about the acting process?
Oh, yeah, dude, all the time, dude. It's like fucking, sometimes you just lose out on shit because of what you look like. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes it's like, especially me, where like right now I'm trying to do a lot of like commercial stuff, because that's like a way to like actually make money and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I gotta pay bills, you know, but some of that stuff, it's like, you know, you show up and you do it, but it's like they need a look. You know, it's like, so you could like be like, you could crush something, but you don't look like it, so you're almost automatically eliminated. But you still got to go through with the fucking audition stuff and that whole aspect of it.
Have you ever been like, even like going like on the way to an audition and kind of just had the feeling you're just like, there's no fucking way I'm getting this.
All the time, dude.
Yeah, but you've got to go do it. Yeah,
time, dude. All the time. Especially like when I have agents, and it's like I got to submit stuff that I know that I have no shot of getting because it's like a responsibility to another person that I got to send this shit in.
Right.
All the time. But that's just the game, though. It's like, I don't complain about it, because that's what it was like that. It's been like that forever, and it'll always be like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something that I didn't even realize so many comics did, was like just acting or voiceover or commercials or shit. Because like I'm assuming you probably do. You ever watch just like old Pats highlights or like old Celtics highlights? Just
all
like,
the time.
Dude, I went through a thing, especially during the pandemic, when I had Dick going on. And like Sam was gone, or like I was just alone, I would just pull up like not just highlights of old Ohio State games, full like fine, give me the 3-hour version of it. And I just like pulled one up from like 2010. It was like Ohio State versus Wisconsin or something. And the guy that recorded it, he didn't have all the commercials in there.
J.J. Watt on that Wisconsin team?
He would have been. Yeah, dude, fuck, they beat us. That was terrible. They returned the opening kickoff. It was terrible. We were number one. They beat us that year when we were number one in football and in basketball. It was heartbreaking. But in that, there was like an old Nissan commercial, and I looked at it, and I was like kind of high, and was also like late. But I paused it. I was like, that's fucking Rory Scovel. Yeah. Like, it was just another comic. And like Pete Holmes is like the voice of the E-Trade baby. Yeah. Like these guys like are like, you forget like, oh, or like seeing like old shit that like Burr would pop up in. And it's just like, oh yeah, these are just like young working comics that need to make money somehow and just do it. And you forget that it's like, they don't just show up at where you see them on their special. Like they did 15 years of work to get there. It's wild.
And it's fun too, like doing like acting. Like I love acting. Like I fucking like acting is just so fun. And like as much as like it's frustrating at times and stuff, and it's like it's stressful. Like living as an actor is tough. Where it's like, because that's my job, you know. And everyone always asks me like, "What do you do for work and stuff?" And it's like I don't know what to say, because it's like, dude, like I got a commercial like a month ago, so that's taking care of me for a little while.
Yeah.
But it's like house sitting, fucking cat walking dogs.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to say when people ask me.
Sure.
Like, you know, that's why I just say I'm an actor and a comedian, because all those things I think just fall under that tree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like another one of the early on when we met, when we were just doing stuff in the park, I've said this before, where like I was just sitting on a park bench waiting for the mic to start, and you kind of knew me, but like I feel like ever since you found out my last name was Bowman, you've always...
It's a great name,
It's
dude.
always just, Bowman!
Yeah, it's
like,
a great name to yell.
You come in with that, and I was just sitting down on the bench, and you just like, yo, Bowman! I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, you need a 2-for-1 fucking shampoo and conditioner?
All the time,
It's a $10 value. It's yours for $5. And I'm
all
like,
the time.
So that's part... I feel like you just did that for a year.
I can do. You know what's funny is I used to work with a dude named Matt Bowman.
Really?
Yeah.
Scumbag?
R.I.P. Great dude.
Oh,
great guy.
Is he dead?
He is dead. Yeah, he had like a heart attack. He's actually one of the best dudes I worked with. Like,
nice.
Just a solid dude. But his name was Matt Bowman.
Yeah.
And then when I met you, that was probably 5 years later. Because I stopped. Yeah, probably about. And then I remember when your name was Matt Bowman, I was like, because it's not like Joe Smith. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, that's not a fucking common name at all, dude. So I think I always laughed at that. I was like, dude, I can't believe this. In my head, I was like, I can't believe this dude's name's Matt Bowman.
Yeah, dude. Well, then you always if you bring me up on a mic
Matty
or a
fucking Bowman
every
dude.
single time, dude.
Because I think it's just like Matt. It's like force. It's just such a great name to yell.
And there's a cadence to it.
There is. Yeah.
And it's whenever I'm around you, I will slip into, because it's so fun to talk like you do without being like reduction. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very fun. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, some part of it's definitely subconscious. Like, my mom has a friend who, like, they scrapbook together, and she's from Tennessee, this lady is, and I know when she's talking to Donna on the phone, because she'll start talking like this, and by the end of the call, she's talking like this, and I'm like, Mom, you're from Ohio. Like, you don't sound like that. It's very funny. One thing that I wanted to, this actually kind of transitions into something that I wanted to touch. You did a play at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Fucking over in Scotland, which is a great festival. Go check it out.
Rules, dude.
So you were over there for a month.
Yeah.
What are the Scots and the English? What are they doing wrong?
What are they doing
What are they doing wrong? Like, I mean, being over there for a month, I feel like, because sometimes you go for like a day or like a week. Yeah. You're not, like, you were pretty in it.
I was.
Was there anything that you were like, what are they doing over here? Or what do they have right that they did different that you're like, fuck yeah, that's great.
They have a lot of things right. Drinking in public, they have that. They do, because it's like, especially in Edinburgh, where it's like beautiful city.
Yeah.
Have you been over there?
No.
Amazing. Even if the fucking festival's not going on, I couldn't recommend it enough. Amazing city with like parks and just shit to do. And I like how you can, if you want to just grab a drink, you can walk around with it and not worry about it.
Really?
I think that's very nice.
So like New Orleans, just fucking open container, just walk around.
All that shit. You know what I mean? It's how it fucking should be. You know what I mean? I like that. Cigarettes, I like how they're much. I'm not even. I
like what they call them over there.
Yeah, fags, dude. It rules, dude. It's what. Listen, it's what they call them.
Dude, I listen to a soccer podcast. Like, it's from The Guardian, which is like the big newspaper in England.
I was reading it this morning.
They will slip that in every now and then.
It's just what they call it.
And I'm like,
connotation.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
but like, especially over here, like fucking break the glass, fucking top 3 word, and you're like, 100%. What the heck?
Yeah, 100%.
No one bats an eye. It's crazy.
But just the fact, I like how easy it is. Alcohol's so much cheaper there, dude.
Yeah.
I was getting like a glass of whiskey and a beer for like under £4. You know what I mean? At like nice places,
like college bar prices.
Yes, but not college places.
Oh,
you know?
Those are gross. Don't get me started on that.
Just they would do a lot of stuff right as far as pubs, drinking. People shit on the food the English have and stuff, but I've gone over to London like 4 times and I've eaten at some of the nicest restaurants in the world, so I can't really complain. Yeah, like the pizza and shit, that stuff sucks, you know what I mean? Fish and chips. But I think like the best thing they have going for them is just they're always down to just drink and like watch games in a way that's much more communal and shit.
That's one thing that I've definitely heard. I watched a documentary called The Irish Pub, which it was on Netflix. I don't think it's there anymore. And there was like no narrator. There was nothing. It was just like 4 dudes. and they just went over to Ireland. I understand that Ireland is not part of the UK. I understand that. Sometimes people be like, well, did you know? The Northern Ireland, that's a different country, but whatever. But they just literally went around Ireland and just went to all the oldest pubs and just like interviewed the owner. And some of them have been like in the same family since like the 1600s.
Bro, I was drinking at a bar it was the same building since like 1650 something.
That's so cool,
and I was like,
dude.
this is insane.
Yeah, I felt that Sam and I, my girlfriend, went to a bar. I think it was called like Old Town. It was like on 17th or 18th.
I know,
like Old Town Bar or
it's
Old
on the
Bar.
Corner. I know.
Yeah,
you told me this the other day. Yeah,
and it like I think it's been it's been open for like 135 years, and like I was just in the bathroom just like taking a piss, and I was like. It kind of hit me. I was like, that's wild. That's insane. That like dudes that like fought, like went off to fight in World War II, fucking World War, like that's wild.
They took a piss right
where I'm at. Yeah. Well, because like what hit me was like like some lady like asked the bartender. She was like, "Oh, where's the restroom?" And he was like, "Oh, it's out the door, up the stairs on the second level." Because when they built the bar, like. It was. I think it might have even just been men only.
Yeah.
Like if you were a lady, you had like your bathroom wasn't even in the same place. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool to me about like I have to go to Europe because the oldest European footprint in the United States is like Roanoke, like fucking North Carolina, some of the colony shit. You go over there, old like, hey, this church was built in the year 100, and you're like, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
It's wild over there.
Absolutely. Spain's the same way.
Yeah.
I went to Spain a few years ago, and I was in a castle that was from like the year 800, and I was like, I was standing inside of it, and I was like, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and then you, like, look at the plaque, and they were like, yeah, this was some guy's idea, and it took 200 years to build. That's crazy. Yeah. Imagine, like, if Eric Adams came out tomorrow and was like, hey, we're going to start work on something that won't be finished until 2250.
Great-grandchildren are dead.
Yeah, that's bananas. Like, the level of forethought. Like, imagine, like, the guy... So there's a guy who designs it, and then, like, he's not going to see the project through.
No.
He's got to talk to some other guy.
Yep.
And then that guy hands it down to another. And, like, that's crazy. I mean, because people weren't living till 90.
No.
They were living to 50.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, yeah, I think they do a lot of stuff right. As far as Edinburgh as well, like, they do... I love preserved history. Like, there's castles there also that are, like, 1,000 years old that are incredible. They just do a lot of shit right over there. I just like. I'm trying to think. Of course, there's stuff in the United Kingdom that's annoying, but I can't really think too much of it right now.
Did they ever comment on? Because obviously, if I go over there, it's obvious that I'm an American. But did they have anything to say about America or Boston or anything? Or
they think
super positive, right?
For the most part, but they think.
Oh, really?
They think like everyone when a lot of people don't like America in the sense like. Everyone was just school shootings, fucking it's like school shootings and obesity and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about,
dude? Teeth, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Teeth.
Oh, that's the thing. So I was like, yeah, but I go, everyone's not like I was talking about how there was a joke I was working on at the time how guns are cool. Yeah. And these people just like weren't having it. And I'm like, dude, first off, dickhead, like you live in a country that doesn't even have guns. You have no right to comment on it. And this lady's like screaming about it, like, oh, guns are this and that. I was like, yeah, but I'm like, over here, it's like the same people that shoot up schools just drive fucking 18-wheel trucks through parades.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not like a once in a lifetime. That happens pretty frequently over there.
And knife attacks.
Exactly.
People or
like,
acid.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, no matter what, people are gonna. Now, I'm not saying like. What I was saying is, I'm like, if you're gonna tell me like a pink leopard fucking print M16 in Call of Duty is not cool, then like you're just lying. You're like, that's like, how are you gonna tell me a pink leopard print glow in the dark machine gun in Call of Duty is not cool? Yeah. It is. It's just objectively cool. So, but yeah, you get the same shit, you know?
Yeah. I got annoyed like last week or the 2 weeks whenever we played England in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I got annoyed with them being like it's football. Like there's definitely like looking down like on America as in terms of like a soccer or like football like country. But then I was just kind of like, hey, you guys haven't won much anything. You guys haven't won much either.
Not in most people's lifetime over there.
Shut up. Like, you won one in 66, and you guys have shit the bed regularly in just about every single major tournament since then.
Totally.
Like
totally.
Like I was rooting for England. I wanted England to win. If after the United States, I wanted England to win the World Cup. But like when Harry Kane missed the penalty, I was like, of course.
Oh, it's
of course they would. Of course he would.
Sends it into the 80th row.
It's always England on penalties somehow, dude.
I gotta tell you too. This is something that pisses me off in America, that the Spanish do it as well. I'm sure it's most places, honestly, other than the fucking retarded United States. But so I've been lucky enough to go to a few soccer matches over there. And one thing I fucking love is, you go to a game over here, they stop serving booze in like the third quarter, the seventh inning. That doesn't happen at a soccer match over there. Dude, they'll serve you beers after the game is over. There's no limit. It's not like, oh, you could only buy 2 beers right now. If you want to buy 4 beers at a time and bring them to your seats, you absolutely fucking can. Dude, I went to the West Ham match. They played Tottenham too. I saw Harry Kane.
A derby.
And first of all, I couldn't. The one thing though, I couldn't, which I understand. I totally understand. But I was sitting so close to the field that I couldn't bring beers. I was in like the second row, so I couldn't bring my because
they don't want you to throw them at them. Yeah,
you could legitimately hit some. Like when they were throwing the ball in on inbound, like you could, if they were there, you could hit some.
Oh,
I mean, they were like where the fridge is. That was like the pitch.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fine. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'll drink them in, like, first of all, the beers aren't as expensive as American fucking teams. And I hate how it's like, there's nothing worse than when you're at a baseball game and you're like, or a football game and you have to like time up, be like, I got to get this beer now because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to get it for the rest.
Right.
It's fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
It's so and it's like the whole like idea behind it. It's like, yeah, well, they don't want to be fucking liable. It's like, dude, from especially the way baseball is nowadays, I'll drink. If you tell me beers are getting cut off in the 7th inning, I'm going to drink like I'm never going to drink alcohol again. Like, it puts something inside of me subconsciously where it's like, I need a drink or else I'm like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on the party.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Then it's like dude, I was at a Patriots game a couple months ago, and they were cutting it off like right in the second half, and I'm like, dude, I'll just keep buying beers and put them in my pocket so I have them through the second half. I didn't even finish all the beers, but I brought beers back to the tailgate that I bought in the stadium, and there's like I was at a fucking like 20-person tailgate. I'm like, there's like I'm like, why do I have these fucking beers?
And those aren't cheap either.
No,
they're not cheap.
No way, dude. You know, so I can't stand that bullshit, dude. Well, I can't stand that.
I like just the passion that the fans have. It's obviously can get a little out of control sometimes.
Sure.
Like gangs and we're killing people and all that shit. Dude, those are some wild documentaries. Oh yeah. You seen some of those?
Absolutely.
Dude, I saw one. There was one where a guy was he made a knife that had like, it was like 2 razor blades and they were like an inch apart. Yeah. So that when he would like slash, they couldn't, like, it was the blades were close enough together that they couldn't like stitch it together. It was specifically made so that like it was like a nearly impossible wound to like. I'm like, that's. Sometimes I watch that shit. I'm like, that's fucking cool. It is. Like well, that level of
Green Street Hooligans is like one of my favorite movies. That's why like when I went to the West Ham match, I was like, I'm gonna fucking. Obviously, I wasn't going to, but I'm like, if I see someone, I'm gonna punch him in the fucking.
What did he say? He's like at one point, it was right. I watched that right as I started to like get really into soccer, like 10, 12 years ago. And there was one point, like, because there's like the main guy who's like the fucked up, who he smokes his cigarettes like this, like that guy. I don't even remember his name. Yeah. But he was like, there's 2 words on the calendar that you never want to hear: United away. Yeah. Like, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's my awesome team. And I'd been supporting them for like 6 months.
Absolutely.
And I was like, no, I'm a part of that.
So good.
I love the banter that they have.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about this with Graham last week of like, just the chants that they have, they're so funny. And they come up with them so quickly. Yeah. Like, and then like I don't even know, they don't pass out pamphlets. Everybody just somehow knows the song. Yeah. And it's so cool. They're always like, what did I think it's the same one that I said last week, but it was like American chants are just like, let's go team. Yeah, we will win the other team sucks. We will win. But like over there, they're just like, your mother's a whore. You cunt.
But they're like rhythmic and very creative. We're like, what a fucking chant.
Yeah, but like the whole thing is just basically like the other team's a bunch of fat cunts. That's the whole
awesome,
thing.
Dude. It's fucking awesome.
I also love how cunt is not a like.
That's another great thing too.
It's not. That is. The way that words work across different language, like what's bad and like what we were talking about, like with cigarettes, like that's nothing over there.
No.
Here, terrible. Same with cunt. Like that's like in terms of just like everyday swears, that's like the worst one.
Yeah.
Over there,
nothing. That's what. That was something actually I wrote down about something that's pissing me off recently is like, I don't like, we were talking about 1984 earlier. I haven't read that, but George Orwell wrote a great piece talking about the word bloody, which is an adjective over there, like bloody hell, fucking whatever. That used to be a couple hundred years ago. That was like a terrible word.
Sure.
But it got watered down so much now you could say it on children's television now. And he wrote this in the 40s or 50s. Maybe the 30s he wrote it. Sometime when he was writing. It was in like an essay and down and out in Paris. But pretty much the whole fucking point was like it's used so much. What he gets to is he says the word fuck and all these other words eventually will get to that point naturally through language. He says that it'll just happen. I grew up in a household where like swearing wasn't bad. I don't understand why we can write. Like, I saw it was an advertisement on the subway the other day, and it was an oat milk advertisement, and it said, taste milky as, and then it said F, and then there was like a star, and then it said CK. Why can't we just write fuck? Like, no one's reading that. It's not going to be, like, censored in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there's like that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and it's the same thing. It doesn't say fuck.
Yeah.
It just says, like, F blank CK. It's like, first off, if you didn't give a fuck, you would write fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about not giving a fuck? Like, how you sound and how you talk around people, that's like step one.
Yeah.
Like, truly not giving a fuck. But the thing is, like, when you, like, interpret it in your head, like, when I read that thing, I was like, it says milky as fuck, or it says, like, the out of not giving a fuck. It's like, why can't you just write it out?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Who is it bothering if that's their verse? That's there.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, and I feel the same way about, like, TikTok. Like, it's so funny to me that, like, the main people that are on TikTok are, like, younger Gen Z kids, and it's just, like, they are the wokest generation by far, and they are on an app that if you say gay, they close your account.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do you talk? Like, I don't understand. Like, at times TikTok is like sometimes worse than like a conservative mother.
Big time.
Where it's like, you can't talk about sex. Like, people spell it out like they're in fucking third grade, like SEGGS. I'm like, what are we doing?
I know.
Are we not, like, if it's a thing of like, okay, we don't want kids to see this. All right, well then maybe you don't, like, you cut down on the amount of kids that are fucking almost naked on this app.
Dude, one of the main reasons I stopped using like TikTok, or like probably why I just never really got into it. It was like fucking 14-year-olds twerking all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
What is this app?
You know?
And it's like, why is this served? Like, even I don't want that.
No,
dude. Do you ever get it where like because normally you have like on your algorithm is like, it knows what you like, so it's serving me like a bunch of like, sports highlights or fucking like, I don't know, clips from comedy podcasts, shit like that. But then every now and then, do you see a video where it's just like, oh, you're trying to push me in a direction here? Where I kind of see the video start, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want you to think that I'm into that shit.
Totally.
It's weird because like when you're conscious of the fact that it is always learning and trying to like give you shit that you like, it'll sometimes throw in something just like, oh, maybe you like that. And so I'm just like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, big time.
So get that shit out of there.
Ultimately, I feel like the reason that's like really problematic is that kills, because they're filtering what you see. So it's like, I feel like it's tougher to discover random shit on your own. That's what I feel like the biggest thing is with all these like cookies and algorithms and stuff. It's like, well, I want to find weird stuff on my own. I don't want bullshit to be thrown to me.
There was something, and maybe I saw it on a TikTok, I think, but somebody like developed an app, or they developed like an extension or something, or maybe it's like an actual just YouTube channel, but it essentially will just serve up random videos on YouTube from like very not well-known creators. So like people that have like 100 subscribers, people like fucking me. I've got like 152. Like we'll just like throw shit up there, and it's just like, oh, that's actually kind of like, that's like early internet.
Yes.
Where like you just like somebody would send you a link. She's like, dude, go to like I don't know, buttfarts.com, and it's just like some, you know what I mean, like some weird random ass shit.
Yeah.
Then like that's fun. Yeah. Like going back to those days where like you played, I don't know, like Flappy, whatever the fuck, early internet games.
It sucks how I'm like, the internet just sucks now, dude. I'm like, it sucks too because I think like I'm an adult and I like need to use it. I think that's part of it, but it's like, dude, I miss the day. Like, dude, I wasn't signed into my YouTube the other day on my. I hooked up a fucking new TV and I like wasn't signed into my YouTube account. I'm trying to watch like just music videos and let shit play, and it's like confirming me to be 18 years old. It's like, dude, when I was 12, I watched Saddam Hussein get hung on YouTube, and I didn't have to click any age thing at all. And I'm like, why is it now I can't watch a fucking Lil Durk music video without clicking that I'm at least 18? But I got to watch on the same website Saddam Hussein get fucking lynched in front of everybody, dude. In front of the world. That was like, remember when that video came out? It was like the whole world literally watched that fucking video.
Do you remember when we got him?
Yeah.
I remember there were two, the big one was
early 03.
The big one was when we got Bin Laden.
That was a great one.
That was, dude.
That was
a
great one.
Dude, sometimes I'll go back and like, again, like him or love him, whatever, the politics. There's a couple like political videos that I'll be like, I'm a fucking American.
Oh yeah, Obama
like,
coming out, dude,
Obama walked that strut, dude.
Yeah.
That one, and then the GW speech on the rubble, where the guy is just like, we can't hear you, and George is just like, well, I can hear you, and the people that knocked these buildings down. And I'm like, this is probably a lie, but I'm so amped right now, dude. Like, just fucking, dude.
Absolutely.
Though it was not obvious. There's a lot of really bad shit that like has happened, like all of that shit, but like the patriotism at that time was just like,
oh, it's incredible.
Yeah,
now
dude.
it's like if you're like too patriotic, people think you're a racist.
Somebody has a bit right now that's so fucking funny where it's just basically just like, I haven't seen an American flag in years. Like, what happened to those? It's like, if you have an American flag, people are like, are you a fucking in the KKK?
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
no,
nuts.
I don't think so.
Fucking nuts. It's weird to think, like, where did we get to that point? Because, like, the best part about America is you can shit on America. We could sit here for 12 hours and just say this country's the worst, I hate it, everything, and nothing will happen. Where it's like most places in the history of time, if you did, like, bro, like you said, you just disappear, bro.
Just gone.
You know?
No letter, no fucking Christmas list.
That's the beauty of America.
You're gone.
That's the beauty of America.
It's amazing.
It's like the whole Brittany Griner thing. It's like she could come back to America and just start shitting all over it again.
Yeah.
And her right as an American, that's her right as an American, which is amazing,
yeah,
dude.
That's
fucking
so
awesome.
dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope. I love that.
You know?
Man, and that's one thing that I love about like the World Cup is the greatest. I mean, especially for people that if you haven't watched the World Cup, get your fucking life together,
Even
dude.
if you're not a football fan, it's fantastic.
It's so fun. It's so cool, and just like what it means to those people, like especially like the run that Morocco is on right now.
It's insane.
Everybody picked them to finish bottom of their group. They just been knocking off big country after big country. Like like when they cut to the fans, like the passion that they have for that. Like, that's so cool to see because it's like a genuine love of your country, which I think, like, yeah, kind of like what you're saying. Like, there's not, it's like if you're here and you are patriotic, it's almost like that says something about like your politics, and it should be like, no, I really like, I like where I live.
I love America.
There's a lot of problems, sure, I'll give you that. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying that it's pretty dope by the standards of almost anything.
Exactly.
And it is pretty lit to live here.
Exactly.
You know?
It's totally, dude. This place is the fucking best, dude.
Yeah.
It's, you know?
It rules.
It really does, dude. You know, but it's just like, but yeah, you're right. It's like everyone's, you know, it's just what the fuck people are.
Yeah.
You know?
Very, very annoying. Hold on, there's something else that I had. Oh, so you got a mom.
I do.
Yeah. How does she text you? Does she text you in a way that my mom does?
Meaning how?
Like yesterday, like today, I wrote the reason I wrote this down because it bothered me. My mom texted me and she was just like, "Call me," and I'm like, "Okay." And so, like that to me, like if I texted you, call me, it's like, dude, I am on fire or I killed someone and I need your help. Like that is a 5-alarm fire. And I call my mom and she's like, "Do you think your sister would like this pair of pants or these slippers?" I'm like, what the fuck? Does she do anything like that?
So, you know what's funny? Regularly, no, but my mother did do that like a couple weeks ago where she sent me something and I just wasn't looking at my phone and she called me a few times and her boyfriend texted me being like, "Hey, call your mother," and I thought something bad happened, and it was bullshit. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was nothing that couldn't have been dealt with over a text message. But no, my mom doesn't. My mom's pretty hip with that shit.
Yeah, is your mom crazy at all? Like in a cool way or a fun way?
She was more so. She was more so when I was younger, but not now. She's very laid back. She's very laid back.
Yeah,
now. Very, very laid
What's
back.
the family dynamic? Like how many? I don't even know. Like how many?
One sister who's like a year and a half younger than me.
Cool. You guys all get along?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So she's I think there would be more stuff where my sister was in trouble much more than I was as a kid.
That shocks me.
Yeah. Well, she really lived up to it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so it wasn't, I don't know, my mother was, my mother would smack me around and shit. Nothing that wasn't fair. Like, when I look back at it, like, every time my mom hit me, I was like, yeah, I deserved, like, much more than that, you know? So she was good with that shit.
Yeah.
But not crazy in this, my mom was crazy in the sense, like, when I got in trouble in school and I was getting disciplined from school, also usually almost well-warranted, my mother would step in and defend me like a psychopath, but then take the wrath out on me outside of school.
Afterward,
so, like, my mom would always make sure I didn't get in too much trouble in school, but, like, she would fucking go mental at home.
Yeah.
And it was worth it, you know. I shouldn't say worth it. It was appropriate.
I kind of like that of just like I'm not gonna let somebody. It's kind of like I can make fun of my sister, but if you make fun of my sister, then I'm gonna come down on you.
When I started drinking in high school, like regularly, like I remember the first time I really got drunk on a school night that I got caught. It was the St. Patty's Day parade in Salty, and my mom. The next morning, I was like 17. I was 16 maybe, and I was so drunk in the morning, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just not gonna go to school today," because I never really missed school. So like when I would tell my mom like I don't want to go to school, I didn't always have to be sick. I'd be like, I don't want to go to school. I missed like maximum 4 or 5 days of school a year. And it was because I liked school. I had fun in school, and my mom was like, "If you need a day off, you get a day off." But,
damn, yeah, that's she was cool.
But it wasn't like if it was only if I had nothing to do, like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I didn't miss school. I had fun in school.
Sure.
And I never faked sick, none of that shit. But my mother, I remember, came into my bedroom the next morning, and it was March, dude. It was freezing. Opened my window up and just starts going off about how I'm not missing school because I'm drunk and hungover. Like, she's like, "You're going to school." Bro, I went into school still drunk. Like, I was hungover. It was just brutal, dude, the whole day. And she's like, "You're not leaving school. I don't care." Looking back, it was a pretty good lesson because it's like you shouldn't miss work.
Yeah.
Because you got drunk the night before.
Yeah.
And it like really like when I look back and taught myself, even when I bartended, like there were times where I bartended and I didn't sleep and went to work the next morning. And it was like it's just instilled in me.
Yeah. Well, there's a quote from my high school, one of my high school teachers, where he said, "Not a lot would get done if you only went to work on the days you felt good."
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like that's like with comedy. There are days where I don't want to go.
Sure.
I don't want to go. Even like, and that's so, and like, I catch myself where it's just like, what are you saying, dude?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I don't want to go all, like, I got a show, I don't know, if I have a show in Harlem that's like an hour and 15 minutes away, I don't want to go all the way up there. It's just like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
A year ago, you would have been like, fuck, I got a show tonight? Let's go.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you just got to go do it. Like, just show up, do the work.
You really love the stuff you do when you don't feel like doing it is the shit that like usually always matters.
And it's always the stuff that like actually works out.
Yes.
Like it's something that's the most worthwhile, where like you actually had to work for it.
And then when you're there, it's worth it.
Of course.
Like it's just like getting out of bed. It's like you don't get out of bed like today, yeah, it's like you don't get out of bed, then you'll be in bed pissed off all day. But like, yeah, getting out of bed's tough. But then when you're outside of the house, you're like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, well, I've always said that I'm a morning person that doesn't like to get up.
Yeah.
Like once I'm awake, I love like that early morning,
best
like
part of the day.
The sun's kind of coming up.
Best
it's
part
like
of the day.
Dude, in college, I would wake up on Saturday mornings. I know that's wild for most people, but I would wake up on a Saturday morning, watch I would come downstairs.
Did you go to Ohio State?
No, I went to a small like Christian university. And so I would wake up on a Saturday morning. It would just be me. There would be a Premier League game that would come on at like 7:30.
Oh yeah.
I would wake up, make a pot of coffee, and I would just sit on the couch from like 7:30 till 9:30. That was like my highlight of my week.
It's the best.
It's quiet. Yep. Nobody's up. Nobody's doing anything. If one of my roommates did come down, they would just like sit and have coffee. I mean, like we're just watching the soccer. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. That's actually one thing that I like about like the way that I get to consume soccer. That it's on in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like on a Saturday in the fall, dude. I wake up and I've got a Premier League game at 10 o'clock, and then I've got college football at noon. Then I've got football the rest of the day. But like it's that chunk in the morning that's just like, oh, this is nice.
The best.
Now I do wish there are times where there was like a build up because part of the anticipation of like got a big game tonight.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Fucking big game tonight. And so like sometimes that's a little bit lost. Like if United's playing City, but it's like a 9 a.m. kickoff, like what I'm getting hyped up the night before. Yeah, it's almost like I wake up and I'm like, all right, we're here.
Well, that's what I think. I was thinking a lot about how for the England-France match, I was like, that they had that the other day because that game was on at 9 o'clock in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was a Saturday. And it's like that whole day, that whole weekend is just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy. I was saying to one of my friends the other day, I was like, I want to fucking go over to London just for the weekend to go be a ton of fun, you know, because I'm like, they had that whole thing.
Dude, then I've been watching reaction, or like it's just come up on my feed of just people I feel bad, but I don't. Of just like them just like crowd reactions to Kane missing that penalty.
Oh, sure.
Like everybody's just like, yeah. And just like the disbelief, like
especially after he hit the first one.
Oh, God,
I love it personally.
Damn,
I always want England to do poorly. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, there's the Irish in you,
100%, and the American in me.
Of course.
That's another thing too, where it's like I like. It's cool. I like the World Cup because it's like it was nice when America played Iran because it's like there's actual tension and beef between these fucking countries, dude. You know? Dude. And it's like you can't comment on like people think you can't comment on it too much, but it's like no, I will. They're getting mad at these fucking Iranian journalists are screaming at this guy.
That dude.
Oh, you're not pronouncing our country the wrong way, this and that, and how black people get treated over there. It's like you guys murder people in the streets.
Literally, while you're asking this question, your government is murdering its own citizens.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, Tyler Adams, fucking the patron saint of the...
He should be the captain of that team as long as he plays, because he answered that like an abs... I wouldn't have been able to control myself in that moment.
And that's what he was hoping for. He was hoping... He was hoping that he could get a question so he could, like... It could cause, like, a fucking international
classic
incident.
Media bullshit,
yeah.
Dude.
But Tyler's like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I meant no offense. I'm doing this. And yeah, there's some issues, but I think everybody's trying to get better every day. And we're like learning. I'm like, fucking hats off,
me away.
Dude.
I was speechless when I saw that. I was like, wow.
I'm glad that you brought that because I was about to touch on, like, I watched that. I'm like, fucking pot calling the kettle situation. Dude, what are you saying
like,
right
bro,
now?
You guys are just murdering girls over there because they don't want to wear certain clothes. I was like, and we're talking about the pronunciation of a word in a different language? Yeah. Like, Iranian isn't a fucking, that's not an English word. Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. That's one thing, that's something that I want to, that bothers me about, like, England or, like, Europeans in general, where they're like, oh, well, the Americans, they don't know much about Brussels or how South Lorraine, like it's like, yeah, dude, I got a whole fucking country to deal with over here.
What do you know about Kentucky, dickhead?
Shut up. You ever been to Louisville? Probably not.
I know. Yeah, 100%.
Where's the Basketball Hall of Fame? You don't know.
Exactly, dude.
Like,
exactly.
The size and scope of this country is insane.
It's enormous.
Like, I literally, like the longest drive you can do in the UK gets you from here to the western part of Pennsylvania.
New York to Pennsylvania?
New York to, like, the western part of Pennsylvania is all of England. That's the whole thing. And it's just like, That's what, a fifth of the country, a fourth of it, the United States, to get from here to Pennsylvania and then all the way up.
Probably less than a fifth.
That's crazy. So it's just like, yeah, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
You live on an island. Is that cool? Okay, great, man. But I don't know.
Yeah.
They bother me.
No, there's a lot. No, totally.
The entitlement of it, I guess.
It's just those bullshit stereotypes where it's like, dude, it's like, the thing is in America, it's like, people if we sat down with someone from New Mexico or like Montana, it's like, yeah, that's the same thing as being from another country, dude. It's like a totally different. Well,
I think Colin Quinn had a great bit about that in one of his specials, like Red State, Blue State, I think was what it was called. But he was just like, yeah, I think we just need to recognize that just like every 4 hours, everything's basically different.
It is.
Like you drive 4 hours north of here, it's going to be a lot different than right here.
Dude, I went to Maine the other day. I did a show in Maine a couple weeks ago. This wasn't like Portland, Maine. This wasn't like City, Maine. Bro, I thought I was in like New Brunswick. I'm serious, bro. I was like, where am I? Nova Scotia? Like, this is, every person there felt like they were a different country.
Yeah.
It's still New England.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are still fucking Patriots and Bruins fans, you know?
Nobody's checked in on those guys in years. I don't think people, like, we haven't sent anybody up there.
No.
They're kind of doing their own. They just got some lobster, and they've got the Bruin, and they're okay with that.
I drove down a street, and I was like, this is insane. And I turned my lights off on my car, and I couldn't see anything past my windshield. It was so dark up there.
Good God.
I was like, holy shit. And that was like everywhere I pretty much drove up there. Of course, there was like a couple main streets here and there, but it was like 30 miles off the highway where there was just nothing.
What show were you doing?
Some fucking brewery show in Maine.
Hell yeah,
dude. It was
dude.
sick. It was a great time. But it was like, it was a great reminder to be like, yo, this is only 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from Boston. And it's like, I might as well be in fucking Czechoslovakia right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, other than the fact we're speaking and barely speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Because when you hear them talk, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, it's like they got the Canadian fucking influence in them.
They're all dressed like fucking lumberjacks. Yeah. And it's just like, and they're looking at me, and it's the same thing when they look at me, where they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing up, you know?
You ever interacted with any Amish?
No.
Dude.
I don't think I've ever even seen an Amish person before.
Yeah, so I'm from, like, I went to college in like rural Ohio, so like we had a bunch of Amish around there.
Pennsylvania and Ohio.
Pennsylvania, right? Ohio, for sure. Yeah, and so after college, I had a job working for like we essentially just got a bunch of local food, put it in a box, and you could like, it was a subscription box for like locally sourced produce and vegetables and shit. And one of our vendors, or a lot of our vendors, were Amish farms, and we would just like go and we'd buy their shit and we'd put it in our box and we'd sell it. And I would sometimes, like, part of my job would just be like go out and get the deliveries. And so like I'm fucking, it's July, so I'm walking around like in shorts, a tank top, I've got tattoos, I've got my hat on backwards, and I'm showing up, and there's just these little Amish boys who are just, they look at you like you're from another fucking planet, dude.
Yeah, might as well be.
And they don't, and that's the thing is the little kids don't speak English. They speak Dutch. They speak Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh, that's what they speak?
Yeah. Or like or German. Like they speak like German, Pennsylvania Dutch, all of that shit. And so it's like they're just like sitting there. And then like the older brother will come along and he like goes to school. I think they go to school from like till like 8th grade or something, and then they drop out or whatever. But like then he can come along and he can actually talk to you. Yeah. But like the other ones are just like sitting there talking. Dude, and those kids work. Like I asked one of them, and because they're farmers, like straight up farmers.
No taking a day off.
No, they're just like, what time do you others? I'm like, oh, our chores start at 3:30. Whoa,
before the sun comes up.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean, because they got to go feed the chick, they got to do the cows, they got to milk all that shit, and then they work in the field, and not with like a fucking John Deere, dude.
No way.
Not with that shit. They're out there
with a rake.
Yeah,
you know,
just with
the rake and a bucket of water.
Oh, dude, they're different out there.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think I've ever even seen an Amish person. I would love to. I would love to meet an Amish person and stuff. But.
The ones that confuse me are like the Mennonites or like the Quakers or some shit, where they're like half in, half out, where they like dress like they're on Little House on the Prairie, but you catch them with a flip phone. Really? It's like, hey, what?
Really?
It's not this is an a la carte menu. Yeah. Like, what are you in or are you out? That's weird. Or like they can have like, a lot of them will have businesses, so they have like a phone, like a landline, but like that's it. They don't have cell phone. It's very interesting. Like I used to do this as a bit when I first started, and it never did great. But it was just the idea of just like, when did they decide to stop advancing?
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
Say they have a phone, it's probably not like a 1950s rotary phone.
No,
right?
like it's a fucking phone.
Yeah,
like they have it, and like it's a landline, but like it's a phone, and it's just that's weird that they're like, because at one point everybody was like the Amish, you know, like everybody in the United States was like it was the 1850s.
Yeah.
Everybody was there. So what was the thing where they were like, nope, I don't know, like because it's not like they got to 2005. And then we're like, okay, we got to go way back. Like, that's not, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
They just, at some point, some guy was just like, hand up, we got to stop this.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's interesting to me.
Big time.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know much about them at all.
Yeah, they're an interesting bunch.
I don't know much about them at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else that's got you hot? No, I've got a couple other things that we can hit on, but
just not being able to like write fuck out. I still don't understand. Because the thing is like no one gives me a good answer for it. Yeah. Like it's like, oh, it's inappropriate to say. Well, how come it's not inappropriate to write 75% of the word, but everyone still hears it in their head? That's the part that, and the thing is, it's like there's these things where there's just no explanation. Like for whatever reason, it's like people feel they don't have to explain it. They're like, yeah, well, it's the word fuck. I don't have to explain it. It's like, no, I want to get down to the root why we can't do it. And I don't understand why. And it's like it's the same on television. It's like you can't swear on the news and do all this, but it's like meanwhile, everyone has a cell phone with HBO, Netflix, and fucking Pornhub and whatever on it, and it's like there's nothing that's like everything's at anyone's fingertips whenever they want it. So that stuff's just really, really, really starting to fucking get to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm 100% right on this, but I believe that like with British television, that like up to a certain point in the day, like you can't say shit. Like literally, like you can't say like the swears or dirt or whatever. But then like after a certain amount of time, like after 8 o'clock or after like 8:30, then they can start to say. Because, like, I watch a lot of British comedy shows or, like, their panel shows or game shows or whatever, and they'll say, like, fuck and shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that seems like a nice little medium of just, like, okay, we've got
Comedy Central is like that.
Yeah, we've got the weather, and you're here for the weather. We don't need to say it's fucking hot out or you dumb cunt, put a sweater on.
Sure.
I get that. We can have that.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, the kids have kind of gone to bed. The adults are watching TV.
Yeah.
Let's talk like we're fucking adults.
Yeah.
That, I think, like, treat us like we're fucking adults.
It's just, to me, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't.
Because the thing is, I'm saying there is an explanation out there, which I'm sure there is. No one knows what it is. So it's like, until I get an explanation or reasoning, I don't see the point.
It seems, I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. I've always... Like it's got to be same way that like they put like an explicit content like label on like music and shit. It's just like people were like, I don't need my son seeing that.
Totally.
And it's just like, okay, then fucking don't have him see it.
People are just afraid to have an awkward conversation.
Sure.
That's all that is. I feel like at the end of the day, that's all that is. I look at it like, dude, I grew up. Did you have a Blackbox growing up?
No, dude. See, you're on a different side of that.
I had a Blackbox growing up, which it had every channel you could imagine. So like, and it was fucked because like, I wouldn't say it was fucked. It was just crazy looking back because like, you had an A side and a B side, and the A side was like mostly news and like some channels, but the B side was like pay-per-views, but then certain channels were like regular, like if I wanted to watch Nesson with like the Red Sox and the Bruins play, that was on the B side. Cartoon Network was on the B side, but also was Playboy, Urban Sex, like all that stuff was like, so, but you would flip. This is the days of television remotes where you would go channel to channel to channel.
Yeah.
And you would just go from a fucking hockey game to just some broad getting nailed. You know what I mean? Or then to like, you know, but I don't look at that as like, it's just what it was.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it was good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I don't know, because now everyone has that. Now everyone has now everyone can watch whatever they want to watch. You get a 7-year-old a cell phone, it's like they could just go on any website and watch whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Where it was more difficult when I was a kid, at least, you know, that was just because my family didn't want to pay for wrestling pay-per-views.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
why we got that.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we didn't get like cable until I was like in high school.
Yeah.
Like we were always like, well, no, that's not true. We had it earlier than that. But like we didn't get DirecTV till I was like in seventh, 8th grade. Yeah. So it was always just like the standard shit.
Yeah.
And my dad, like we were never able, he hated when we would like sit down and like watch TV a bunch. Hated that shit. Yeah. My dad's so fucking funny. He's honestly like one of the funniest people I know without trying. Like he would, like his go-to line, he'd walk in the house, fucking first thing he says, not hello, not I love you, good to see you. He's like, can that be turned down, please? And it's just like, Dad, it's on a 5. Like I'm not, he'll watch, it's psychotic. He'll watch, like not so much anymore, but like growing up, I would just come downstairs and he's just watching a basketball game on mute.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like
sensitive hearing or something.
That he doesn't like loud noises for sure. Yeah. But he's also just like I don't need them to tell me what I'm seeing.
To be honest,
I see it.
Some of the announcers I hear in the NFL every week.
Yeah, dude.
I don't need to hear what the fuck they're saying either, dude. Because a lot of these people just don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No, not at all. And so, but the funny thing is like I'll make fun of him all the time. He's got his weird quirks and mannerisms, but like especially, granted, I am his son, so genetically it makes sense.
Yeah.
But so much of that shit, as I'm getting older, I'm just like, fuck, that bothers me too. Like it's the same way, dude. It's the exact same thing. I
hear that.
He like, what does he do? That he, I mean, like I make Excel spreadsheets about everything now, and I used to make fun of like he's an Excel spreadsheet guy. I make like plans, I make posting schedules. It's all in that shit. Yeah. I don't like to spend money at all. Like, I mean, and that's all coming from him. Sure. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I will turn off the bathroom light. I will do all of this shit because it makes sense. Yes. When you're paying for it, it's crazy how that changes.
Big time.
Dude, my dad rules, man. Yeah. He's so fun. Dude, he had some of these like little phrases or just like little jokes that are just so good. Like my brother and I, we were watching football one time and it was on Fox. And for whatever reason, he always hated Fox's programming more than anything else.
What's funny, my dad's the same way. With the NFL, my dad hated the Fox broadcast.
Yeah, and then just like he hated the content that was on the channel. Yeah, he hated all of this shit. He hated it. And there was like some commercial. Like we were watching the game as a family, or just like me, my brother, and my dad. And we were just watching the game. And like it cuts to commercial. And I don't even know what it was. It was probably some like sex scene, or like, not obviously it's a commercial, like it was just like they got hot and heavy and then they cut away, and my dad is literally just like leaning back in the couch and just goes, nothing like an open sewer into my living room. I'm like, great, God damn, dude,
that's a good one.
Roasting him.
That's a good one.
What else did he say? He said one time we were sitting there and there like one of those credit card debt commercials came on. He wasn't even in the room. He was just passing through like the living room. And the guy on the commercial said, are you $5, $10, or even $20,000 in credit card debt? And my dad he just, without stopping, was just like, no, but if I was, that would be a huge problem. Just no remorse. Just like, that fucking sucks, dude. Yeah. My dad rules, man. He's the man. Fuck yeah. Okay, so this is some random ones that this is actually something I'm starting now. I just looked up some random things that like a lot of people are like their pet peeves or like that they're bothered by.
Wait, Bowman, I'm gonna piss my pants.
Go piss. Okay. Go piss. Get out of here. No, you got it. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can just close out with just like some just like a hit. Just like, what are your thoughts on some of these? These are just like ones that are like, I Googled like top whatever fucking pet peeves. Lip smacking or chewing with your mouth open.
I don't pay enough attention.
Really?
What's lip smacking?
Like, dude.
If people do that enough in conversation, I can't fucking stand. Like, if it starts, it can be annoying after a while.
Yeah.
I think if someone does it like a little bit, I don't think I would notice.
Yeah, dude. Sam actually does it. Like she does like a, well, that auditory, that kind of shit, that gets under my. I really hate the chewing with your mouth open.
Yeah.
I try not to. If I'm like talking to you and I've kind of got something, okay, that I can understand that. But there are people that are just like,
talking with food in your mouth, dude. Yeah.
Bothers me, dude. Bothers me.
It's pretty annoying.
The word moist.
No, I don't feel any way towards
Me
that
either,
whatsoever.
dude.
I hate people that hate the word moist.
Yeah.
That's what I hate.
People write it down as in like they still think it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's something I never understood it. I'm like, I don't understand how a word can make you feel grossed out.
Yeah, it's not the N word.
Yeah, that's literally. You beat me to it, dude. I'm like that, like, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, this wasn't screamed at a group of people. Like, chill out.
To describe the weather, like,
right.
Chill the fuck out. I just never understood that one. I thought when that whole like sensation started or whatever the fuck, I thought I was just missing out on something when people were like, oh, the word moist, I hate that. Like, I'm like, what?
I guess, yeah. Is there a video that I missed?
That's what I'm saying. Like, am I dumb for not understanding?
Yeah, I've been too busy watching the Saddam video on repeat. I missed the moist one.
I hear it and I'm like, what? Fuck off, dude.
Grow
up.
Large groups of people.
Usually, I almost always fucking hate them.
I
always
hate it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Like during the Pride Parade or like marches and shit like that.
Worst.
I fucking hated it. And people are like, "Why?" I'm like, it has nothing to do with the cause.
Yeah, no,
I don't
know,
care.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It could be the fucking we're giving away $1 million to everybody who participates. I don't I hate massive amounts of people. Which is hilarious because I moved to like the biggest city in the world.
I know.
In the country.
Can't stand large. Can't fucking stand it, dude.
Yeah, but I will move to that city.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way.
I understand.
I know what you mean. When I walk on the train and it's just crowded and I'm like barely getting crammed in there. The other day I was on the train. I was going to one of my friends' houses and the train was delayed. So I waited like 20 minutes to get a train. By the time I come into the station, you can barely get in. I squeezed myself in and I just wanted to I just wanted to throw punches in every direction just because I'm like, this is the worst.
Dude, and this is something I was talking about on just an episode by myself, but just like in those moments, I'm just like, the only thing that is keeping like this situation remotely normal is just all of us agreeing to not lose our shit.
Yeah, 100%.
And that line is so thin.
It's as thin as it can be.
Like, because there have been times where like it was like July, it's hot, sweaty, it's down there, and then like it stops like between stations and it's just sitting there.
Bro.
I am like standing there and just like, there is absolutely nothing keeping me from just screaming right now.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing is just that it's not socially acceptable.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I'm like, I could easily do that.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy and scary when you think about it. Just like,
dude, I get afraid. Yeah.
How easily it can flip to that other side. Because all it takes is like one or two people that lose their shit.
But then it happens. Like, you go, especially on the train where it's like, 15 to 20% of the people on the train are kind of crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're already getting like, and those aren't even including like actual crazy people, actual homeless people that just have nothing to lose. That's not even including that.
No.
But like, yeah, it's tough, dude. That's something where it's like, I think I've prided myself on is like, I've worked a lot in the last years not getting frustrated at the groups. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm getting better at like, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath, put my headphones in and close my eyes instead of just going mental. Because I used to just flip the fuck out, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten much better at that.
Hell yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
You. But I still, but I haven't lost any fire towards, dude, I'm with you like on the parades and all that shit. Like, I'm just like, fuck, it's St. Patrick's Day. I don't care, dude. I just can't stand
SantaCon the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
The worst.
I hate it.
The worst.
What else do I have? How about like texting at the table or like texting while you're talking to somebody and then they like pick up their phone?
Depends on the situation, but sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I can't stand it if I'm at like a nice dinner or something like that. Because I'm somebody, I do it for myself. Like a lot of times when I go to eat, especially when I'm with my family and stuff, I'll just leave my phone. I don't, and I love doing that. But I even catch my fucking mother and her boyfriend doing it sometimes where I'm like, why are you guys on your phone? You guys are 50 years old. Shouldn't you be telling me not to be on my fucking phone?
Who's the parent here?
Yeah, exactly. So
Jeff?
Last time I was home, I remember we were doing that. We were at a good restaurant and they were texting. And then they ended up putting it away. But for the most part, no. I think it depends on the situation. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was always raised. We weren't allowed to have phones at the table. We didn't watch TV when we were having dinner. It was always
That's good.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
If I ever have a family, I'm gonna do that shit.
It was always like, and we almost always, there were very rare circumstances where we didn't have like all 5 of us together for dinner like every night. Yeah, my family does rule.
That's like that's awesome.
Like as I've like gotten older and like gotten around, like I mean I don't know, like it's kind of like when you're a kid and generally everybody around you is kind of the same. Like you're kind of like, oh, this is kind of how life is. And then you go to another city or you move to another place and you're like, oh shit, like that was just like us that was doing that, and like just learning like, oh man, I had a pretty fucking good life. That's like good. Everybody else, like a lot of people have had a lot more fucked up shit happen to them than I have, and I'm very lucky.
Totally. I'm with you on that. Like because I love, like, especially now, I think it means more to me now where it's like I go home and it's like, dude, I'm lucky if I get home once every 2 or 3 months. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just like to talk to people and figure shit out.
Dude.
But then sometimes though, it's like, sometimes I think there's a place for it. Like I've been out with people and it's like, if I'm just getting a slice of some shit and someone got to do something or I'm on the run, I couldn't care any less than I do.
Yeah. But if we're having an intentional conversation and then you're constantly, hold on.
Yeah, totally.
Man, fucking eyes up here. Yes. Type of thing. And I think that's something that I've also just, as I've gotten older, specifically with family, of like really, especially with like older, like my grandparents who are like close to being done. Yeah. Like they're almost to the credits.
Yes.
And just being like, being really intentional with like, okay, I've got maybe like, it's fucked up to say, but like I've got like 5 to 10 more times seeing these people ever. You're so it's like, wrong. Okay, what? Do I need to see this YouTube video right now? Do I need to text my friend about a show 2 weeks? No, I don't.
Exactly.
Put that shit down.
That's, I think, the part that bothers me, where it's like nothing fucking matters.
It's not that important.
No.
It's not that important.
Because at the end of your life, when you're thinking about it, or what you would be thinking about when your grandparents and all that shit is like, I wish I could just sit there and bullshit with
that's how I felt like in college too, or like in high school, where like when I am done, I'm never gonna look back and be like, man, I wish I spent 2 more hours on that term paper. Like no. I'm gonna be like, no, I should have said fuck that, and I should have gone and like gotten a drink with my buddies, or I should have gone and done that shit. And that's why I like people that are like crazy workaholics. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of it because like I put a lot of effort into comedy. So like I'm really trying. I'm really putting it out there. Because you have to get better at shit.
You don't have, it won't be a job.
100%. But like, and maybe people feel the way that I feel about comedy. They feel about fucking accounting or whatever your thing is. I get it. But I think it is important to take a step back every now and then and be like, no, it's actually not that important. Yeah. And there's like 3 to 10 other things that are much more important than that. Yeah. So cool out. Let's do 2 more. Slow walkers.
Can't stand them.
That drives me up a wall.
I said this before, dude. Slow walkers and then people that block people that stand on the left side of the escalator, dude.
Dude, I've noticed that's
the worst.
I don't even know if that's just New York, but in my experience, it's almost just New York.
The worst. You want to go to the I'll tell you something real quick, too, about the United Kingdom. No one walks on escalators there. Nobody walks on escalators. Now, granted, they leave the left side open, but no one walks on escalators.
Do you just blow past them on the left?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have time for this shit.
No.
Dude, I hate when someone when I tell you I hate it, I hate when someone's standing on the left side of the escalator because there's no excuse for it. I get it, like, if you're a senior citizen, sometimes I don't walk up the escalator, dude. Yeah. Sometimes the escalator from my house to get off the subway is like fucking 8 stories. Sometimes I'll just sit there and take the 2-minute ride. You know what I mean? But it's like, don't block it, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't fucking block it, because it's like people got places to... It makes me... I think, and it would be up to me, you should be able to, like, check them like it's a hockey game.
And it's like, that's on you, dude.
It doesn't matter if it's a male, female, or senior citizen.
That is on... Dude, people with no spatial awareness...
Oh, my God.
You ever, like, the guy that, like, stands in the doorway?
Oh, dude.
Dude. Or, like...
Or someone who goes shopping in the grocery store and leaves their carriage in like the middle of the aisle, and then it's like, pull over, dickhead. You're not the only fucking person here right now. Have some fucking... It's just rude is what it is.
You're walking down the street and somebody just stops abruptly in front of you. It's like, dude, if you're looking at your phone for directions, step to the side.
I know.
There's the building. No, I'm not walking into the building. Stand right there.
People are fucking
Or
morons,
like like you're walking out of a Chick-fil-A and like you throw your shit away, but then they like stop and like look at their phone. Like, get out of the way.
I'm getting just thinking about this is infuriating.
Yeah.
That's how much this bothers me.
Yeah,
that's how much this.
I like the body checking policy.
Because it's like you should be able to just storm, and I do it. I'm like, excuse me. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna say excuse me nicely.
Yeah.
If there was another word. I guess I could start saying like move. I'm usually I guess like come on, you know what I mean? Like because it's like, dude, you're holding everyone up here.
Yeah, what
you're
are you
doing yourself a disservice?
I also don't know how people can be so not self-aware. I don't like. Maybe it's just because I'm a comic and I'm always thinking about like how I'm being perceived and what I'm observing shit. But like, dude, drives me up a wall.
Totally
drives me up a wall.
I'm with you on that one. It's one of the most. I'll say this. It is that is one of the most annoying things in everyday life.
People with no spatial awareness or that are just like, dude, have you ever been behind a single person that somehow manages to take up an entire sidewalk?
Absolutely.
You're like, how? This sidewalk is 6 feet, 7 feet wide. You are one person. How are you doing this?
Yeah, and
this is actually impressive.
Yeah.
How, did you say you stink?
And they're skinny.
Oh, I thought you said and they
stink. It's not even like a fucking offensive lineman, dude. Yeah. They do stink, dude. Fuck them, bro.
And you stink.
It's the worst.
All right, last one. This one is more like comic related. But when someone you don't know gives you like a tag or like tries to punch up your joke, that one personally bothers me.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I don't fucking know you. I don't want comedy advice from people that aren't my friends or people that I look up to. Like, if you're a comic that, like, is ahead of me and I like you and I respect you... Actually, if you're a comic that's ahead of me, I'm going to listen to what you have to say because you've clearly done something that I haven't or whatever. But, like, if you're just some fucking guy at a show and you're like, oh, dude, I love that, but you know what would be better? You don't know what would be better. You don't know me.
Yeah.
That's not... Shut up. I'm not going to go up to you. I would never go up to you if I don't know you and be like, hey, man, you know that joke that you have that you like? Here's how I would do it. And it's like, shut up. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me too much, but what bothers me is I had someone the other day at a show and they were like, this person wasn't even a comedian. It was an audience member and they tried giving me advice on something to say and I wasn't really paying attention. And then I had my friends with me, 3 females, and they're like, oh, wait, actually, never mind. You're doing pretty good. And I'm like, hold on. You think just because I'm hanging out with 3 girls now, all of a sudden, it's like, dude, fuck off, you know? I'll say that. So what you're saying doesn't bother me too much, personally. Yeah. I understand why, but me personally, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people hear me talk and, like, my accent and then tell me to... the Boston stereotype bullshit.
Oh,
that's what gets
me. Where it's like, hey, dude, I bet you could get away with saying the N-word.
Like the shit like that. I think that's kind of my version of that thing for you.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's one of those things where it's just like, do you really think that this is the first time someone's told me this?
Well, that's 100%.
And it's just like, are you dumb?
Yeah.
Like, I think you're a dumb person if you think that this is the first time I'm hearing this. Yes.
But sometimes, though, it's like, because I never, like, because sometimes I've told people to... Or I have ideas for people's jokes, and I'm like, I told someone what they should do. There was a comedian the other day, and I know they've only been doing it for like a year or something, and I would never say I'm above them or they're above me, but I have been doing it longer than them.
Sure.
And they were acting like there was an issue with their joke. And all I tried telling them was, there's no issue with your joke, you're just saying it too fast. Because I know I'm naturally a pretty fast speaking person, and an issue I had in comedy starting out was I was talking so fast that... people just don't... I was talking like I was still talking to people in my neighborhood.
Right.
They just don't understand. And I'm like, comedy, it's still an issue I have. Where it's like, you don't want to step on jokes. So I was telling this person, I was like, you just need to say it slower and everyone will understand it.
Well, I feel like that's slightly different because I don't mind if someone is like saying, man, I can't get this joke to work. Or like, essentially, I don't like unprompted advice from people I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if we're in a group of comics and we're just talking, okay, that's one thing. Or if, like, a comic asked me or something like that, it's like, hey, how do you think I could fit? Okay, I'll tell you. Or if it comes up where, like, we're having a conversation, and I don't know. I essentially don't like the guy who I don't know who comes up to me in the back of a show and is like, you know, it'll be really funny. It's like, okay, well, then you fucking go write the bit, dude. Yeah. You go write your whatever. I don't care. That's not how I would say it, whatever. Yeah, I just don't want unprompted advice from people. I don't think anybody does, to be honest.
Probably not.
No. Don't take advice from people you wouldn't take Don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from.
Yes.
That's great.
That's great.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. This is fun as fuck.
This fucking rules.
Hell yeah, dude. Anything you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? Or
Ryan O'Toole podcast. It's on everywhere that podcast.
Hell yeah.
I'll record a new episode either tonight after the Patriots game or Tuesday. Every Friday I'm on Amazon selling shit.
Hell yeah.
I posted on my... Just follow me on Instagram. It's Ryan O'Toole. ITS Ryan O'Toole.
Hell yeah, dude. And you got me, Matt Bowman Comedy, almost everywhere. Bat Moment on Twitter. Please rate, review, subscribe, share this shit. Subscribe on YouTube. It's up there. It sounds lame and stupid, but we are going to make careers out of this.
Yeah.
I'm very confident of that.
Yeah.
So fucking... Be in on the ground level. Be in here early.
People will watch this in like 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
They were friends?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Dude, okay, last thing to be like really lame and gay about it, 100%. Like, I was journaling about this the other day of just like having a fantasy of being on like a big podcast, like maybe Rogan or just any of the big podcasts, and like talking about like starting out and being like, yeah, dude, at the same time, me, O'Toole,
100%.
Haba, Jake Timothy, all these guys, yeah, we were all barking at the same time, and having people be like, whoa. Like, that was just it was very lame. But it was like...
But yeah, because it's cool when you hear comedians say how they knew each other when they were nothing.
Oh, yeah. Listening to guys talk about, like, the starting out in, like, the good old days of, like, that.
Yeah.
I do have to take a step back every now and then and be like, no, dude, that's right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in it. And it's not going to last forever of, like, people are going to move to a different city. People are going to move to L.A., get a show, all of that. It's not forever.
No.
So.
No way.
It's not forever, guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. See you next week. Stay bothered. Have a good night. Bye-bye.